of them again, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, treated him very well. She said, how come you treat him so well and he's no good? Well, it's very simple. I'm the Prophet, peace be upon him. I have to treat people well, but I have to tell you who's ain't no good. So that's my duty. I can't avoid my duty. You know what I mean? And I can't overstep my bounds. But he told me, yeah, that guy there ain't no good. So now, we always talked about keeping score too. So, in our keeping score, I'll just be blunt. What we plan to do right now is two things. The websites, we intend to write letters and letters of introduction to people that have websites that we know. So we're getting ready to put that letter together, and we put together a package also. But we've been heading somewhere for a long time, and we said that we wanted to get a constitutional amendment that would give the citizen the right to defend himself against a tyrannical government. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, a lot of things be happening, but we're going in the same direction. You can get one of those if you want. One of those packages. Assalamu alaikum. That's okay. You can get one of those. Is there a package there still in that? Not only that, the other one. Yeah. But anyway, what happened here is that we've had so many confrontations with reality that this constitutional amendment, that's what we're working toward. The constitutional amendment won't be nothing. Do you remember the church committee back in about 1975 that worked on the COINTEL program, and it told everybody all the secrets of what happened in the 60s and the early 70s? Okay, while they was having a church committee, the FBI was still doing the same thing it always do. It never stopped. A constitutional amendment is not going to stop Homeland Security and everybody else doing what they do. But if you remember when I was whacked over the head, I said, this is publicity. Now, what we've been doing around the last few days is just kind of testing the waters now. What we're really going to do is what we're talking about now. Number one, we're talking about going to all the newspapers and news magazines around here, Fox News, RT, everybody, over and over again, demanding a congressional hearing on what's been happening. We're saying that the FBI, we're saying that the CIA probably working with them, we're saying Homeland Security, we're saying all of these entities have been working against the citizen in America, of course. Number one citizen being us. No, let me explain. Let me explain something. See, we've been working in a certain direction, and we always ask the question, is anybody else doing or talking like what we do? It's clear that nobody is. You have to be human and you have to be real. So that means we've accepted the responsibility for this. the way we've been carrying ourselves over the decades, to us that means if we've been living up all the way to, if we've been on this improvement level, you know what I mean? If we've been on this tazkiyah bil nafs, if we've been on all of that, that means that it just might be that Allah got that job set aside for us. So-called leadership of that thing. Because nobody else, they don't want it and they don't want to hear nothing about it. Right? They don't want it, they don't want to hear nothing about it. Don't nobody that we have seen. What the brothers say over at Howard, I hate to keep mentioning it, that they done turned over there to the immigrant community. They done made the immigrant the new white man. That's basically what it means. It's like if there was no back door to a place, they would go build a back door, get the weight measured, and they could go in the back door, go sit in the back seat. If there's no, right? The Negro under his conditions have been trained like that. Conditioned like that. Okay, now, all of the stuff that's been happening in our arena is absolute proof that that stuff ain't so if you follow the Quran and Sunnah. If you follow the Quran, if you then follow up the Hadith, then if you do like the Quran says, travel in the earth and see what that means and see what was the end of that historical process. And then the juice on top of all of this is our personal experience. Nobody even discuss it in that framework. They stop at Quran and Sunnah. Right?
That's exactly right.
That's what they say. You gotta have the Quran and Sunnah. And that's what's happening. Yeah. It is. So you're not reading the Quran. It said traveling the earth, go around the world, see about colonialism. How does it work? How does neo-colonialism work? How does aggression and oppression and all of that work? That's what, and then how do we respond to multi-layered environmental circumstances in our own society? How do we as a people respond? That's our experience. And we said in all our literature, you know, and this Islamic revival, we said that we took lessons from all the other movements, Imam Hassan al-Banna, you know, Uthman Dan Fodio, everybody. Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui, I would say Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui was the last real force. And he started writing his stuff, good stuff, in 1974. Wasn't nobody ready for him. His first books on nationalism in Islam was telling them, y'all got nationalism. The way it started was the war between East Pakistan and West Pakistan. They started the Pakistani Institute in London in about 73 because they was brokenhearted about this war, that their country has been broken up. Then they changed it to Muslim Institute because they evolved too, they evolved. So Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui, his books are current today, talking about we all got colonels, dictators, and all of that. That's what he was talking about. Okay, you could ask my ex-wife right down there, Sister Bahia, before Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui died, when we came back from South Africa in '96, on April, it looks like it was April 18th. April the 16th, because he died on the 18th. It was my wife in the car, it was a brother driving named Adam, and Dr. Siddiqui. And since I was basically playing dumb, Dr. Siddiqui was running down the whole thing that he wanted me to do. What he was doing was passing me. He looked at everybody already. He looked at Zafar Bangash, Muhammad Al-Asi, He looked at him. He already knew everybody. But when he was putting all of this, now the driver, Adam, he took that back to the guys there, the South African, the Indians of South Africa. The next time I came to South Africa, I mean, in 97, 98, they was acting funny. They was acting funny all the time. Trying to engineer things for me to get on one side or the other. They was up to stuff. But anyway, when Dr. Siddiqui, you could see what he said on those things, right? I forgot he said that stuff. Like, this guy here is the second coming of Jesus Christ, or something, close to that, right? I mean, this is what he said. He was saying that the epitome of all is good. I said, God, dog. I used to call him Doc and, stuff. I said, man, that's pretty heavy stuff. But that's what he said. That was his last big speech in front of everybody. Or one of his last big speeches. Here's the point I'm making. That means that's back in 96. People were already the leader of the Islamic movement, because at that time, that's what he technically was. He was a leader of the Islamic movement. And he had started also Muslim Parliament in Great Britain. From scratch, he popped up with the whole thing. All the ulama and all the people had representatives from all over UK. It was wonderful. He did all of that basically himself. He had to establish the Baitul Mal, he had to do this, and guess what? He was on welfare. They call it the dole, and he was, because he had heart trouble, and they wouldn't give him a new heart. Anyway, what I'm heading at is this. This has to be for a reason, and we have to use reasonable thought, that it is very possible that it's preparation for that original mission. Just in case it is, then we might as well be prepared. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity to never come than for an opportunity to come and you're not prepared. That's yes.
Musa, I want to take 1 minute with you.
Yes.
I came, Dr. Abul Qasim, the Harvard University professor, he phoned me that he tried to get you, but he failed. Many times he tried to reach you.
Okay.
And he invited you to join a dinner meeting tomorrow at Iswa Masjid.
Where?
Iswa Masjid.
Oh, Iswa.
There is Bala.
What time? Yeah, Iswa. I know where
Big
it's at.
Chini, 727 MD.
Yeah, I know where Iswa is at.
Tomorrow at Maghrib time. And he seriously
Maghrib
told
time?
me that please go to him and ask.
Okay, I'll be there, inshallah. Yes, at Maghrib time.
There, inshallah,
That's good. That'll take care of my tomorrow's.
and he said, ask Imam Musa to take with him his some staff also in the masjid if they like. Go
Some who?
some staff of the masjid, like your Imam, your
Staff.
staff,
Staff.
chairman,
Okay, this is staff right
managing
here.
committee here,
Yeah, it's
masjid committee people.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll try to be there. I'll be there, and the staff will have to speak for
And I
themselves.
told him that he was heard somebody attractive, and he was surprised to see, and he was very
Okay.
sorry to hear.
All right, no, don't worry. Everything happens is good. No matter how it looks, it's good. In fact, we'll get back to that good right now. Was that it?
Yeah,
Okay,
that is
all right, yeah, we'll be there. It's for tomorrow at Maghrib, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Imam Musa, your number is okay, that number, he may call you.
202-904-1152.
Please, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
I don't know if that's the right flyer.
202
Yeah, it should be.
904 441152.
Yeah, I have the number. I have the numbers.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay, inshallah. Tomorrow I'll try also.
Yeah.
We will see.
Madam, we'll be there.
What is my
Ah, yeah, inshallah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Okay. So now, we'll try to get back to where he was. The 2 points is one website that it'll be fine, Baltimore to Richmond, but it'll take 16 years at the rate we're going. You know, right? It's nice, but and we have no problem with it. But if we can get 10,000 people, that's what we have to do. We have to get this thing into the public view. You can take the whole thing. Yeah, so that's what we have to get the whole, let's see. So we're gonna email and we're gonna write letters to some of these people that have websites. That's what we're gonna do.
Websites or
Facebook, all of that stuff.
or programs, all of that.
Yeah,
Because what I'm talking about is what I've been mentioning.
right.
It's not websites per se. It's always been like YouTube programs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we mean.
Right.
Well, that's what we mean. We mean the whole media apparatus. Facebook, websites, all of that.
So we're kind of taking doing what we're kind of doing now, but on a virtual level. Like say Masjids, they have email addresses and Facebook pages, approaching that.
We're gonna approach
as an
as
example.
many people as we can
Okay.